Expensive dinners, paid flights, and C-suite management. In this video, we're going to be talking about what is consulting, give you a breakdown of consulting firms, and the pros and cons you can expect from working as a consultant. Let's go. Hey, what's up? I'm Abraham and I'm a Big Four consultant. On this channel, I make tip videos going through the application process. I give insider insights on the latest trends in consulting and also make how-to videos on the skills you need to become a successful consultant. So if you're new here, do consider subscribing and let's get into the video. So what is consulting? Consulting is offering advice to a business or an organization about how best they can achieve their goals. The Oxford Learner's Dictionary defines a consultant as a person who knows a lot about a particular subject and is employed to give advice to other people. So in short, if you become a consultant, you'll be giving your expert advice about a particular area to a particular organization. Now you might be asking,
Abraham, how do I become a consultant?
well, you have two options. Number one, you can start your own consulting firm. And number two, you can work for a consulting firm, at least to start off with. If you're in the 2% of people watching this who will go on to start their own consulting firm, then I just want to say go for it, get smart people around you, understand the risks, and there will always be a need for good consulting. For the other 98% of us, for now, we'll be working for a consulting firm. So what are consulting firms and how do they work? Consulting firms are organizations which employ people, and if you're early in your career, they train you to become an expert in a particular niche or a particular area. Then they go out and win clients and unleash their resource, aka you, to go and solve a problem. Which means as a consultant, you'll learn how to build relationships, improve your communication, and solve problems. Now, if you've been applying for consulting jobs and have seen a career page for a consulting firm, you'll realize there's so many different types of consulting jobs and firms. The truth is, every consulting firm is specialized to the needs of their clients. For instance, if an organization requires a strategic change, they'll usually go to a management consulting firm who are more strategic based in their resources, in their specialisms. Famously or notoriously, if you go to a consulting firm and ask them what makes their firm different, they will usually say something along the lines of, it's all about
the people.
By the way, if you're getting some value out of this video, do let me know by giving this video a thumbs up. Now, an important side note before I go into the different types of consulting firms. If you are considering going into consulting and being a consultant, then choosing a consulting firm is really important. It will come down to the skills you currently have, as well as the stuff you can see yourself doing. For instance, if strategic thinking comes more naturally to you, then going to a firm that specializes in strategic thinking, like a management consulting firm, will be a great option for you. Or if you're a bit more hands-on, then going to a consulting firm that's a bit more implementation heavy might be a great option. But don't worry if you haven't got this all figured out, because sometimes I feel like consulting is kind of like what Michael Scott said.
I knew exactly what to do, but in a much more real sense, I had no idea what to do.
Clarity comes with time, and the consulting firms I'm just about to mention all have a rotational program. So you'll be rotating between different parts of the company or the team and doing different things so you can get a good idea in your early years. So if you haven't got it figured out, don't worry. Honestly, when I was in my final year of uni, I had no idea what consulting even was. So I just want to say you can do it. Now here's a quick breakdown of 5 different types of consulting firms to help you decide which one is best for you. Number 1, MBB consulting firms. These are considered the most prestigious consulting firms and are really great if you want to get into strategic or management consulting. They also pay the highest to entry-level graduate. An entry-level role in these companies can expect to earn you around $110,000 or £55,400. Number 2, if you're looking for a slightly better work-life balance than MBB consulting firms and still want to work for world-class clients, then Challenger or Tier 2 consulting firms are really great options. So things like LEK, Thornton, or Kearney will be great options for you. As a graduate, you can expect to earn around $81,000 or £44,000. Number 3, for a good mix of all the different types of consulting, the Big Four are great options. you'll have the ability to try a whole range of different types of consulting roles. Essentially, it's like working for different types of consulting firms in one company. An entry-level position in the Big Four can expect to earn you around $81,000 and £34,000. Number 4, if you already know what kind of consulting you want to go into, then specialist consulting firms like Accenture for tech consulting or Lockheed Martin for IT consulting will be great options for you. You can expect to earn around $83,000 and £34,000 as an entry-level graduate. Number 5, if you're looking for a close-knit team with an innovative culture, then smaller boutique consulting firms may be what you're looking for. You can expect to earn around $57,000 in the US and £34,000 in the UK. Now, I'd love to know in the comments down below what kind of consulting firm you're thinking of applying to and what your experience has been like. Now, let's get into the pros and cons. First, the pros. Number 1, you get to experience what it's like working for a whole range of companies and industries without actually working for them. So I'm currently working with a bank, and a couple of months ago, I had no clue about how banks work. Just working as a consultant for the bank has given me a great insight on what life would be like working as a bank employee. So if you really like experiencing a lot of variety and change, then consulting is a great option for you. Number 2, exposure to higher level management. Now, there are not many jobs you can get straight out of college or uni that can take you in a room with the MD or a partner or a senior manager of a global company. This also places you in a really strategic position to build relationships with your clients. And if you're thinking ahead and you want to go down into an industry where the client is from, then you can start to build those connections already. Number 3, the perks. Yes, you do enjoy some nice food and some nice travel to nice places, and the clients that usually invite you are pretty big, well-known organizations anyway, so they treat you quite nicely on top of your actual day job. Oh, and not to mention, all your work expenses like travel and food are all paid for. Now, these things make consulting sound really great if you love traveling, you want to be financially secure, and you want to be successful in the corporate world. But there are always two sides to the coin. So let's get into the cons. Number 1, you probably heard this so many times already: long hours and being underpaid for the amount of hours you actually do. Your hours very much depend on the amount of work that the client gives you and the deadline. Let me give you an example. For a client deadline last year, I was working around 70 hours a week and going into most of my Saturdays on the weekends. So that's something you should be aware of and already be expecting in a way if you're going into consulting, because it will happen. The second con is the pressure that comes along with meeting client expectations. It can be really nerve-wracking if you're a newbie into consulting and you go into a room full of partners and managers and they are giving you a lot of work and you know that you won't be able to get that work done in time. I've definitely experienced that, and it can be really hard to say no. But that's a part of consulting. That's something you'll have to learn, is managing expectations and doing it well. And honestly, most people that I work with are really nice and considerate, so I hope you experience the same. The third con is working remotely. A lot of consulting firms and roles are moving to online versions, and most of my client meetings this last couple of months have been online, so the traveling side of things is definitely being reduced. Now, this might not be a con for you if you have family commitments or it's quite far for you to travel down to your office, and in that case you can add another pro to your list of pros. Now, if you are thinking of going into consulting, then you know how competitive it can be. So check out this video I've made going through the 5 most common consulting questions and how you can answer to stand out from the crowd. Also, let me know in the comments down below what video you'd like to see next.